Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bottom Rope Podcast. It is Tuesday, April 13th, and we are coming off WrestleMania weekend and the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. And it really was an interesting past 3 days for the WWE and the professional wrestling world. Again, coming off of another two-night event for the biggest night, really, in all of professional wrestling. It was a good. I thought WrestleMania as a whole, in general, was a good episode. Was a good show that the WWE put on. I thought last night's Raw was okay as a follow-up. I think that it still left more to be desired, and it introduced some new storylines, which I don't think were necessarily that good. Last night's Raw wasn't the best follow-up to a WrestleMania, that's for sure. In a WrestleMania, like I said, was pretty good. Night 1, I thought, was much better than Night 2, although Night 2 did seem to pick up steam. Coming out of Night 1, though, I thought you had a multitude of good matches. And the Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, John Morrison, and Miz matchup was obviously extremely good. The kickoff to Saturday night's WrestleMania between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley was also very good. And then the final that night, the Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler, I thought was really good. So you had 3 really good matches right there. The women's gauntlet match it seemed very rushed. I thought Tamina and Natalya coming out at the end was the most realistic and the best matchup against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I thought that was the best team to face them, the most realistic team to face them, which I thought it was fine. And then the Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon match was also fun to watch. It's always fun to see a Shane McMahon match on a stage such as WrestleMania, just because you know that he's going to take some type of huge bump, and he did by, getting thrown off of the top of the steel cage. Filler matches, nonetheless, to what we saw to start Saturday night. The Bad Bunny, Damian Priest was, like I mentioned, also very good. I thought Miz and Morrison, though, were extremely effective in putting Bad Bunny over in that match. I thought those two did a very, very good job, kind of directing traffic and just helping him out, helping Bad Bunny turn into one of the greatest celebrity performers that the WWE has ever seen. And then what was cool about that Shayna Baszler and Sasha Banks match is it did 2 things. It solidified Sasha Banks as probably one of the greatest female performers in WWE history. One of the greatest performers in general, really, in WWE history and pro wrestling history. I thought that she did a phenomenal job putting Shayna Baszler over. And then Shayna Baszler, in and of herself, did a phenomenal job as well. And Shayna Baszler's for real. I don't think there's any denying that. I think the EST is obviously here to stay. I don't think this is some fluke, shot in the dark type of win for Shayna Baszler. I think that this is going to be a for real title run, a real title run. And what this does is it brings things kind of into a new era for the women's division, the women's singles division in the WWE. Because not only that you have Shayna Baszler winning, but you had Rhea Ripley win on the Raw side of things the following night, beating Asuka, which was great to see also. Nothing against Asuka. Asuka's a phenomenal performer. She's been a really good champion, and it's probably not going to be her last championship run in the WWE. But it's nice to see the WWE start to do stuff, start to make that transition to these new champions, something that they've had the trouble doing before. I mean, because how many times have we seen in the past the same guys, whether it be John Cena or Randy Orton, who, ironically enough, was, put into a championship opportunity, which I don't suspect he's going to be going away from anytime soon. But how many times has the WWE stuck with the same guy where it's gotten extremely stale and boring and so on and so forth? So it was nice to see the WWE kind of make that turn and get some of these female performers, some of these new female performers, a chance to have their WrestleMania moment, have that big spot, and just run with it. It was very, very nice to see. On night 2, like I said, things got a little stale in the beginning. I don't know what the hell was going on with The Fiend and Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. I have no idea what happened with that spot. It was weird. It was a cool look nonetheless for Alexa Bliss. I mean, they're treating it as a turn on Bray Wyatt the following night, which it didn't seem like a turn. It just seemed like a new direction for this whole storyline, which they just made, just more nonsense, just more nonsensical, or excuse me, I can't pronounce that word. It brought on even more nonsense in this whole feud, in this whole storyline. And I think that's been Bray Wyatt's biggest problem is not the wrestling, it's not the character, it's just been the direction, it's been the writing, it's been the booking for him, which has just been, it's been terrible. And it's not something, and it's something that the WWE is missing a golden opportunity on, because Bray Wyatt, he's good in the ring. He's so good on the mic. He's got these characters that are awesome. They're great characters. It's just, WWE just doesn't know how to continue to book it, and they don't know how to continue to write it, which is frustrating. Same thing with Alexa Bliss. I think that this whole angle that they're running with her, they have been running with her, is good, but it seemed like they missed a golden opportunity to really bring in that Sister Abigail character, which it seems like they've always kind of been hinting on, and they just put it in this whole other direction Monday night where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, like, from a wrestling standpoint, is Alexa Bliss going to be taking on Bray Wyatt and The Fiend? Or I just don't know what's going to be happening with this. And it just doesn't seem like it's going to be going in any type of direction that's really going to be making any of these characters any better. Other than that, I thought the main event for night 2 was good. I thought it was really good. And I thought what had to happen that night did happen. I think Roman Reigns winning that match, in solidifying himself as the quote unquote head of the table, I thought that's something that needed to happen. I think that Roman Reigns as this type of bad guy, as this type of heel, works extremely well. And it's something that, quite frankly, should have happened a long time ago in the WWE. I mean, Roman Reigns always had this in him. It's just the WWE, Vince McMahon, always tried to shove Roman Reigns down everybody's throat as this babyface, which obviously didn't work, and they just kept on trying to do it. And we see what works for it now. And Roman Reigns still is arguably the greatest character, or the best character. I don't want to say the greatest, but the best character in WWE right now. and I know I'm kind of jumping around here. Another match that I thought needed to happen the way it did was Apollo Crews beating Big E the way that he did. Obviously, it brings in Dabo Kato as this Commander Aziz, which I thought was funny. The announcers pretending like they didn't know who this guy was, considering he was on Raw, 3 months prior, as Dabo Kato. And again, it's just, I think that's a lame writing on the part of the WWE to try to make it seem like this is some unknown guy. I don't know why they just can't say, oh, look, what's Dabo Kato doing in this match? But I thought that was a match that Apollo Crews needed to win, for his own character's sake and his own direction's sake. Big E is always going to be there. Big E has already solidified himself as a good in-ring performer that can work on and off the mic. Other than that, though, I thought that a huge mess coming out of night 2, and into Monday Night Raw is the direction of the women's division tag titles. I thought that Tamina and Natalya should have won that match Sunday night. I thought it would have been given the WWE a better opportunity to kind of reshape and regroup a women's division, a women's tag division that is really kind of going nowhere. That has let me say this. The women's division in the WWE has never been better. They've got great performers. They've got great characters. They've got, workers that work obviously very well in the ring, very well on the microphone, and they just keep on missing this opportunity with the women's tag division, and it just doesn't seem like they care. I mean, because coming out of night 2 and into Monday Night Raw, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have now beaten every single team, it seems like, twice over. And I don't know if and it seems like that Mandy Rose and, it seemed like that tag match last night was something that didn't need to happen. And I just don't know what direction they're going with this. If they're going to introduce a new tag team, if Natalya and Tamina are going to get another shot. So I don't know. And it seems like if they were going to get another shot, wouldn't they have just had them win and beat Baszler and Jax Sunday night? So again, it's just an unclear direction on what they're trying to do here finally with this whole tag division for the women. And it really is a shame though too, just because they have so many great performers there, and it's really, the women's division has really come a long way since the Diva era, which was really just a joke, and just the WWE providing themselves an opportunity for smut. But this is real. This is all very, very real. I mean, you have real competitors, real talent in this division now, and it just seems like they're wasting it. But other than that, like I said, Raw after WrestleMania this year was okay. It wasn't the best. I thought Charlotte Flair coming back and kind of being that heel, what she is so good at, is a welcome sight. Viking Raiders returning to provide some much needed depth to the men's tag division was good to see. I was kind of hoping for some bigger returns. I would have liked to see maybe a Ronda Rousey return, which was speculated, although it's not clear at this point if she's even signed a new contract, because her last contract supposedly expired over the last few days. Becky Lynch, it would have been nice to see her return. Who knows what's going on with that. And then the main event with Braun Strowman, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. I thought McIntyre winning was fine. I thought his program with Lashley has been good, and I wouldn't mind seeing it continue just because they've been working very, very well together. I just don't understand what they're doing, what WWE is doing by adding Mace and T-Bar into that fold by having them attack Drew McIntyre at the end of that match. It just seems like the WWE they don't know what they're doing when it comes to the tag division so much. When you consider that, why did you break off Mace and T-Bar from Retribution, and then on that same note, take away or break up the Hurt Business? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So who knows? I mean, the WWE, for everything good that they do from a creative perspective, they just go and take these steps back with these other weird decisions that they make. So again, all in all, it was a good 3 days for the WWE. We have NXT starting tonight at their new on their new night, Tuesday nights, which will be good for wrestling fans, I think, just because it gives wrestling fans a opportunity to watch Monday Night Raw Monday nights, NXT on Tuesday nights, and then AEW on Wednesday nights, and then Impact on Thursday nights, and then leading into Friday SmackDown, obviously on Friday nights. So anyways, though, that's going to do it this week for the Bottom Rope Podcast. Catch us. We're going to be on a bunch of different platforms now. Check us out on any major podcasting platform. You can find us on YouTube and SoundCloud as well. So until next time, I'm Adam Hernandez saying have a good rest of the week, everybody, and we'll see you later.